Well, hello again. I'm crouching down over here next to a bucket full of water chestnuts. Thanksgiving is coming. I've had the request to make a salad, and so I'm going to use these in a salad. And I guess the first question out of everybody's mind is, but Bill, isn't that a bucket full of stagnant water and pond scum? Yeah, it is. And that's exactly what you use to grow a water chestnut. They are a marsh or swamp plant, sort of like wild rice in a way. And so I'm going to dig down in here and I'm going to lift this out and see what we can find underneath. I'm thinking it's time to harvest because not only is it fall, but you see here a lot of brown straw, That usually means with water chestnuts that a lot of this is finished. Looks like there's some green shoots here too, so maybe it's not completely done, but I'm sure there's enough under here for dinner. So I'm about to pull this up. Let's have a look. There we go. There we go. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so let's see if I can get this up a little higher here for you. There we go. Okay, so the gray stuff you see here actually is clay kitty litter. Clay kitty litter is what we generally use around here to grow water plants in. It's inert, works pretty well, and these guys will just hang off the bottom just like a bunch of apples dangling from a tree. And it is possible to do snitching, to just reach in here, grab yourself a few chestnuts, and then go ahead like that and drop everybody back in the barrel. And look at that, no one knows the difference. Okay, so what did I find in here? Let's see. Okay, there we go. I have a very nice handful of chestnuts here, and so I'm going to take these into the kitchen and we're going to clean them up and see what we can do with water chestnuts. Well, here we are in the Green Garden Guys testing kitchen. As I said earlier, the only part of these darn things that bothers me really is that they're pretty hard to peel. A little bit dangerous in that potato peeler doesn't seem to work on them very well. And so I find myself having to use a knife. I suspect commercially some kind of a rotary rasp, like a cross between a power juicer and a rock tumbler or something, so it rolls them around, and maybe knocks the skin off of them, because you got to take the skin off to use them. All right, there we go, just like a snowball, and that's how long it took. Okay, so it's not a lot of fun, frankly. And I guess it would be one reason that water chestnuts are a little bit on the scarce side and a little bit expensive, etc., etc. But again, there is no substitute for the fresh ones. You can't replace it. It's one more of those things where I just have to ask myself, wow, is this really worth all the work I go to? Well, for a salad to take for company for Thanksgiving dinner, yeah, I suppose. We will hope that they appreciate them. All right, so there we go. That makes number 2 right there. And so I'm going to skip forward. Well, moving right along, here I sit with a ridiculously large pile of peelings and a rather small pot full of water chestnuts ready to go. But, that's always the question. Is it really worth all the trouble sometimes in the garden? If anybody's been around, I've asked that one many times. Depends on what you're making, and most of the time, yeah, it's probably worth it because you can't match the stuff otherwise, you know. All right, there we go. Last chestnut. Look at this pile of junk. Yeah, it's a lot of waste. You can't really peel them like a potato. They're pretty hard to do that way. All right, so the next step is that we're going to have to take the chestnuts and we will steam or boil them for 5 to 7 minutes to prepare them for whatever we're going to put them into. In my case, that will be the end process. We'll cool them down, I'll cube them, and they're going into a classic pea salad for Thanksgiving holiday, who also happens to be a friend's birthday. So yeah, it's worth all the trouble, right? I'm not bringing a birthday cake. Ellen's the one who is bringing the apple pie. Alrighty, so there we go. That's what I got out of it. Well, I didn't really pull too many chestnuts out of the bucket anyway, so I guess it looks pretty good. And I'm gonna go ahead, turn this on to boil, and I'm gonna set the stove timer here. 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes is what it takes to get these processed. So once those are finished, we'll take them off, cool them. I'm going to put them away overnight, and then for my purposes, I'm just going to cube them and add them to the salad. But if you were making stir fry, which is very typical with this, generally we slice them at that point, so be careful. Make sure you keep your fingernails back gripping them when you do that. But that's all there is to it. Just a little bit of 5 to 7 minute boil or steam, and throw them in your stir fry or throw them in your salad. Real easy. Growing them's easy. Harvesting them's easy. Cooking them's easy. Peeling them. Anybody else out there comes up with an idea for peeling water chestnuts, pass it along. I'm up. Yeah, I could use it. We have a lot of them. They're very easy to grow here. We have more growing season than is necessary to do this. So I have never really tried them in the mainland, but I'd say if you got 160 days, you know, if you're zone 6 and south, should be no problem. Should be no problem. Aloha, hang loose, and skip the pun about chestnuts, okay?